I was deleting stuff on my computer and I accidentally deleted everything on my computer. I brought it back. But that same feeling of like
You need to get a backup hard drive,
I have
Marco.
backup
All right,
hard
thank God.
drives.
Well, you need to back up
But
the album.
but what no, it is backed up. But I was
Okay.
deleting stuff. I accidentally deleted the backups.
Oh
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
When you delete the
But
backups.
nothing makes my heart drop more. It's like my life is on this laptop, you know?
Seriously.
Um,
Literally our entire lives,
yeah.
like everything.
Just so much work and effort. But go on with what you were saying.
Yeah, so like one of like our big mission statements or like one of our core values has always been like bringing people into the fray. And I think like a big part of that comes from like we came from a place where like we were always relying on other people and our vision was always falling short. So like
Mhm.
when the power came in our hands, we were like we're not going to like be possessive of that. We're going to share
Yeah.
that with everyone. And we're going to bring like people into the fold with us.
Because that also inspired. It also enveloped itself into the process for us. You know, that's
100%.
what kind of like motivated us too, is getting other people involved. It just kept it fresh, you know, and
Agreed.
um, inspired us in different ways. You know, bringing on people like M.A.D, you know, onto us,
If
Tiff
for the
for the
artwork.
artwork, and even for a song on this upcoming album.
True. Mad
Amazing
World.
voice. Brother CJ on the flight, and just so many other countless examples in other areas of what we do. Just because we want to, you know, showcase other people's, you know, talent and bring it into the fray of what we do.
Hmm.
You know.
And I don't know. I think that that's a really cool thing because it's like we always knew we had something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like we always knew like we had it, and if someone could just like see it, that we could bring it into existence. But like denied for so long that it came to a point where it's like, all right, well, you got to take the power in your own hands.
Yeah, it's that idea of like sitting on your hands, waiting for uh like a record label to come and sign you.
Right.
It's like waiting on winning the lottery. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like just got tired of that mindset of like some external force um giving me again permission
Permission.
to do what I want, you know? Like nah, like this is what I want to do. I'm going to make it happen or
Mhm.
I'm going to at least make a valiant effort, you know, and teach myself the skill set and um to be able to do so. And in turn we, you know, fell in love with the process, and we were just talking about that earlier of like that swim upstream is really what you come to love
Agreed.
over like the result, um though you are always striving for that result.
Hmm.
um it's this fine balance of, you know, trying to attain that goal, that whatever goal it is in our case, you know, like getting people to listen to our music, getting a certain level of success through fame or you know, streams or whatever, you know.
Right.
There's a million different
Names for it.
names
Right.
for it. But the longevity of it comes from being in love with that process and the passion for um, doing all the behind the scenes and learning what the next step is. And I think to me, that was the defining factor of why I thought, no, why I had like this deep inherent feeling that like we had the keys. Um, we just had to drive. We
Hmm.
had the keys. We just had to drive.
Hmm. I feel that.
And learning what that next step, like we always had that
Always identifying what the next thing
backstory, that
is.
of just learning what the next step and what the next peg we had to, you know, hit off was. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
No, no, no. So yeah. So and I love that like we a lot of people when they get basically what I call the keys to the kingdom,
Hmm.
they become possessive of those gifts. we like to share them with people, right? Because
Mhm.
for so long, like we kind of wished that other people, and it's been a blessing in disguise because when you have to learn on your own, that's the true gift.
Yeah.
The ability to create on your own is the true gift. But now that we have the ability to kind of share it with other people and bring people into the fray, like you see that value come back on yourself, which is really
Oh,
dope.
yeah, that karmic energy definitely comes
100%.
around
And
in
it's
different
cool because you
ways.
get to like tap into like, yo, this person's talented in this specific thing, and then you bring them in the fray. So anyway, so we create this album, and then we play the live show, which is awesome. We play that at
First
Willie.
for us as well.
Yep, we play
Just
that at
another thing to mark off the checklist
hmm
of like,
hmm
all right,
which we were
what do
nervous
what
as hell
oh,
about.
I was so nervous.
So
I
nervous.
messed up.
I remember
I
thinking like
unplugged the guitar with my foot. I was looking
I
around.
was
I
more
was
nervous about that than anything
the
else.
guitar part?
No, no,
Oh.
no. No, just about like playing the live show. Like
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Over
not
like
making the album, not releasing the album, not the
releasing the
merchandise,
song.
because then it's you and the audience. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like there's
It's
no room for
nerve-wracking.
error.
Yeah.
And like we had a couple of mistakes, but we honestly
I thought we
very good
held it
show.
down well for our first time, yeah.
I would agree. And
For
that's
like a
out
set
there
list of
if you
songs.
guys want to watch that show. It's out there.
Oh,
William
yeah.
McBride's Hoboken, The Kingdom of Madison Dreams. We played that. So we do that, and then after that, we pretty much kind of go silent for a little. Not silent, but we realize that this is
Yeah, we
that's
back
sort
off of
of
the social media.
well, we realize that's kind of the end of that chapter.
Yeah.
Like we played that
You put a
show, and
stamp on
maybe
that.
like we should have played more shows, but eventually, I don't know, like coronavirus comes around and you can't play shows anyway.
Mhm.
But so like we sort of take a step back, and then we're recording the next body of work, and that sort of brings us into where we are now with auditory stories, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. But I want to talk a little bit about more of like the aesthetic of Tall Tales,
Okay.
more of like the culture behind what we've created and what it represents, and things like that. And we sort of touched on like the hat and the visual with like the logo and things like that. But I kind of want to talk about a little bit about our sound, because I do think that that is a cornerstone
Mhm.
of what we do, and I for so long have thought that that is something that separates us from other artists. And I do kind of want to harken this back to when you were at Rutgers and when you were originally recording music, because this is one of my favorite stories and I'm going to bring it up for forever. But you told me you were in one of your classes with your professors, and like one of his assignments
Oh,
was
yeah.
he was like record like
This definitely
your
had an
walk
effect
home.
on me, yeah.
Like, yeah. So, all right. So, talk about that, because I always think that that's super
So,
cool, and I
yeah,
think it found its
it's
way into
sick.
our sound.
Actually, I bring this up to my students too. It was this music production class, and he
Right.
was teaching us, how to, different production techniques. And one of the assignments, one of the projects, was to pay attention to every sound to tell a story. It was to tell a story,
Right.
whatever that may be. Maybe it's going to your car door, opening the door, putting in the keys, driving away. You could tell whatever story you want. The point being was to really dial into every single sound you might hear as you're telling that story. So,
Mhm.
to go back to that example of getting into your car, the footsteps, maybe it's a rainy night and you're stepping in, puddles of water,
Mhm.
opening the car door, the sound of you sitting on leather, just really zooming in to that, the story that you're trying to convey.
Mhm.
And it was a great project. I really liked it. Mine happened to be one of the better ones in the class,
Subtle
which
flex.
which I
Subtle,
thought would be
subtle flex.
subtle flex, which I thought would be
I
like,
was the best naturally.
well, people would put like a Super Mario coin sound like when they're opening the door, and like
Well,
a
dude, you don't know if Mario wasn't there.
you're
Dude.
right,
What
but
if,
like
what
as
if,
like a
you see
serious
me?
thing.
Anyway, I'm sorry. Go on.
But but that really I think was like the foundation of my production style. And
Agreed.
I think Phineas does this too. Um, in that he uses, and me myself uses like common everyday kind of sounds to add atmosphere to a song. So you might have like crickets in the background if you want something to sound dramatic. If you want somebody to really feel the space that you're trying to convey in the world of your song,
Mhm.
using different elements like this um, to really tell the story and bring the listener into the world. Um, that really lend itself to my production style. Um, Something I continue to develop, and it has evolved itself into this album that we made over these past months, years. I don't even know what it's been at this point.
I think it's like a year plus
A
at this
year
point,
plus at
yeah.
this point. Some of the songs have been around for quite a while.
Mhm.
Um, but that's the whole purpose of the album is that uh, each song is like a chapter or like a page from a book, and the listener is being pulled into that world. At least that's the goal, anyway.
I always think of like the Page Master, the actual,
Oh
which we
yeah,
sampled that
we did sample
on
that.
Love,
Yeah,
but I actually do think of that because, like whatever in that movie, Macaulay Culkin, who turns into a cartoon, great movie,
it is a great
amazing
movie.
movie. Like I'm so happy we referenced that. But anyway,
Like that's what I want our
he goes
aesthetic to
he goes
be.
into each world, right? He goes
Yeah.
into a fantasy world, he
Yep.
goes into a horror world, he goes into an adventure world. That's our vibe.
That's kind of yeah. That's what like.
That's our
I
vibe.
imagine being in a library, literally, and each song is a different
Book off the
old
shelf.
book, right? And you're wiping away the dust, and you're pulling it, and you're opening it up, and then the song is the
Boom.
book. Yeah.